Yo, what is up, guys? It's Kyle from Level Sports here, and this is the big video that I was telling you about, guys, the other day about the Drillers, the baseball team that I play on. And unfortunately, today the season came to an end, and I'm pretty bummed out about it. Everybody was. Stick around. This is going to be a pretty long video, and all you're going to see is the Neville Sports. So, you might as well just sit your phone down and do something else while you're listening, because this is going to be a pretty long one. Stick around till the end, because you're going to hear sound bites from 3 of the teammates that I played with that stuck around to answer a few questions I had for them. In case you didn't know, the 3 that are going to be talking are not from where I'm from. They do not play on the same high school team as me. There was one other guy, but I couldn't catch him. So we played some of the best teams in Kansas, and today we just didn't bring it. There was a team there we could have beat. Every time I step onto the field, I feel like we could beat anybody in the state, honestly, until something happens that proves me otherwise, and unfortunately that happened quite a bit this season. And one thing I want to say is, even though we didn't always have it together on the field, the dugout was always a good place to be. All the guys got along together well, and that always that was one of the reasons I continuously kept showing up every time I could, even if I didn't play every game, because just being around those guys, it's one of the finest group of guys I've ever been around. I remember this few tournaments we went to, Kyler had a radar gun. It said slow on the front. Somebody's running around. Boom. Hey, you, slow. Pitcher, slow. Bat speed, slow. Stuff like that. And it's just little things like that even if you're taking a whooping, it's just, it's not that bad. Losing sucks. You don't like to lose. And no one really likes to lose, but, it's not as bad if you're having a little bit of fun at the same time. And that's really what I like about playing for this team. And we had a good coaching staff. All 3 coaches couldn't be there every night. Sometimes it was just Dave by himself, and that's not easy to do. It's not easy to coach a baseball game by yourself. We lost a few guys to injuries. Some people weren't always there because, it's the summer. I wasn't there for a tournament. But I want to talk about each teammate that I played with this year. And I'd like to start it off with one of the guys I was closest to on the team, Titus Woodward. He's going to be one of the guys that you hear from. This guy came from Coffeyville and just walked in. He had this infectious personality, and he had so much to say, and he was a heck of a baseball player. He's a good wrestler too. But just the way he expected the most out of the people around him, and it made me and everyone else better because of the standards he held you to. He didn't expect you to play like a major league player. He expected you to make the plays that you could make. And that was really important for me, especially when he became our main catcher after JD had ankle surgery. But I'll get to him in a minute. And we really became close, and we could always joke about things. We had the same sense of humor. And even when I was down about something I'd done wrong, he'd be the guy to come up and be like, "You're good, man. Just shake it off. Go out there, do something good." And most of the time I would. Or if he's down or getting mad at himself because he's going 0 for or whatever, I would talk to him, and he'd calm down a little bit, But that's Titus. Love you, man. Next guy I'd like to move on to, Jaden and Addison, in that order. I love this team. I love every guy on it. So just know that. But Jaden, I could always sit down and talk to you about sports. Doesn't matter what sport it was. We could always have a good conversation, argument about it. And it was fair, it was interesting to talk to somebody that had as much knowledge as me in sports and was able to, have a good, not argument, but we could just talk about it and not yell or scream at each other. We just talked. And that was a big thing for me. And you're one of the most talented baseball players I've seen at the high school level, and I think you're going to go far, buddy. Addison, you played with a stress fracture in your back that if something went wrong, you could be paralyzed. But you didn't give no craps. You just went out there and you played, and I respected the heck out of you like that. When my ankle was hurt, I didn't give a crap. He's playing with a stress fracture. He's running around in the outfield like a maniac and hitting the ball. Like, I have nothing to complain about, so I'm just going to go out there, I'm going to do it. And for the longest time, he would take this mix of antifreeze and biofreeze and this other thing. I'd put it on him every time he came to the dugout after every half inning. He came in, put it on, go do whatever. And that sounds weird, but it made us closer. And we could always joke about things like, you're taking a whooping, you just have some fun in the dugout, and it makes it hurt a little bit less, like I said earlier. These guys meant the world to me. I just hope they know that. But next I'm going to move on to JD, who missed the last half of the season because he had an ankle surgery that he'd been needing for a long time, and he decided this was the time to do it, and I'm completely fine with that. JD he has the most hustle out of anybody I've ever seen play in my entire life. He is not the most athletic kid, and he's so smart. He's smarter than he looks, and he'll surprise you every time. Hustles down the line to back up the throw to first, and those are the little things that you value. If we had 9 of him, we probably wouldn't have lost hardly any games because he just loved it so much. He played so hard no matter what was happening around him, and that's something I always respected about him. And one of the things that I struggle with is when I mess up or something's not going right, I get down and I shut down and get serious, and that's not good sometimes in baseball. And every guy on this team, every guy on this team was able to keep me calm and keep me upbeat and keep me myself, and I wouldn't become this other guy that you didn't want to know. And JD was one of the best people at doing that. I move on to Anthony Coble, who's the best. He's so funny, and he's a heck of a pitcher too. Even if he doesn't do it all the time, if you watch him pitch every game, you're going to see some amazing stuff. And he's just fun to watch, and he's fun to be around. All these guys are fun to be around, and I love the heck out of him, And then there's Chris, and Chris could go to college and pitch because he's going to work on it. He's got one of the best work ethics I've seen. Even if it sucks, even if it's something he hates, basketball, he hates basketball. He don't want to play basketball. He don't want to play football. He just wants to play baseball. But guess what? He does it because he knows it's going to make him better in life. And not particularly at baseball, but, keep him conditioned, make him stronger, stuff like that, teach him valuable life lessons in case this whole baseball thing doesn't work out. And I love that about him. And then you got Tim. Tim and I could joke about anything. And then we could get serious. And it's just, we always had this connection, we just knew what to do and what was going on, no matter what was happening. Tim's a pretty funny guy. If you have the same, he's kind of got a weird sense of humor sometimes, but we bonded outside of this team. So we were really close coming into it. Kyler, he's not from West Elk, but we weren't really the closest of guys. But we shared laughs. We talked. Some conversations were interesting than others. One of my favorite memories from this season was I was out in right field, darker than heck outside, and I just shouted. I was like, "Hey, Connery in center." It's Connery's in center field. He didn't play the whole season with us. And I was like, "Hey, what time is it?" And he was like, "Well, judging by the position of the sun and the fact that it's not out, it's." Kyler yells across in left field, "It's dark." What? I didn't know that was the time. Now he's like, "Yeah, it just happened." Connor goes, "It's dark 30." I was like, "You put a 0 in front of that. You're gonna get trademarked or copyright something for freaking stealing the name of a movie." I just had a great laugh about it. And guess what? We were probably taking a whip in that game, and that made it hurt a little less. No amount of joking around can make a loss not hurt for me, but it's easier for me to, get through the game when it's something like that. And Kyler's the heck of a pitcher too. He can bring the heat. And let's see, William Young, he went down with an injury. He's one of the most talented first basemen that I've seen at the high school level. And guess what? He doesn't rake. He doesn't hit dingers, but he can hit with power. He's so smart about the game. He's such a great leader, and I love playing for him in high school. I love playing for him in Drillers because he was always so helpful with little things that you might not have thought of. And I really valued and respected that. And then, let's see, you got Braden lastly. He lives around me. You know, I take him to games every night, and we have good conversations. He gets down on himself sometimes, and, you know, I'm one of those guys that picks him up. And he's just a good teammate. And, yeah, you know, he has his moments where he's good, and he has his moments where he's bad, but that's, like, how it is with all of us. You got William McClendon. I didn't see a whole lot of him after a while because, you know, he's getting ready to go off to college and all this mess, but he was a joy to play with, you know, in the outfield. And it's just, everybody was so fun to play with. And, you know, you got to be there. You got to be in it to experience it. I hope I hit everybody. Let's run through this here. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I got everybody. If I forget somebody, I'll come back to it. Just know if I forgot you, I actually didn't forget you. Because there's Jaden, Addison, Titus, Kyler, Chris, Anthony, Braden, William, JD. There's 10. Yeah, no, I got everybody. So today we really got worked over, and it's... I love these guys so much, and I hate that it's over and that I'm not going to see all of them all the time. But you best believe this is one of the best group of guys I've ever played with. So I think that wraps it up for me from an emotional standpoint. But now you're going to hear from Titus first, and they're going to hear from Jaden and Addison. All right, so I'm here with Titus Woodward, stud catcher / third baseman / BA for the Southeastern Kansas Drillers. The season's over now. Do you care to comment on what the whole season has meant to you?
Well, I want to start by saying I'm pretty glad that I found this team. You know, it's the only team where I feel like I'm part of a family now. But overall, it was a pretty successful season as far as the mental aspect, and I feel like the only thing I would change is a little bit of the competition and a little bit of competitiveness between our teammates.
All right, and what was your favorite memory throughout the whole season?
I don't know. I think there's a lot. I think I got a pretty big one, and it's just everybody having fun. I think that's my favorite memory of the whole season.
Yeah, so I'm going to throw you on the spot here. Who's your favorite teammate?
Favorite teammate's probably got to be that badass kid, Kyle Neville.
All right, you heard it here, folks. You know what I am. All right, thank you, Titus. Good luck.
Thanks, bro.
All right, so I'm here with Addison Oliver and Jaden Schmidt. Boys, the season's over. Give me a few comments on what you thought of the season, how you feel about it being over.
We could play harder. I just feel like there could have been more competition.
Obviously not happy by the way it ended, but I was happy to be able to play. Because the way it was looking before we came here, we weren't going to be able to play, so
That's why we found this team. It's a lot better than what we could have been on.
So, Addison, you played most of this season, actually the entire season, with a stress fracture in your lower lumbar. Just describe to me the pain that you felt on an inning-to-out basis every time you went out there on the field.
Paralyzation, no walking. Like, just didn't want to. Hurt too much. But we keep going.
And Jaden, you hyperextended your thumb at a tournament in Wellington last week. Obviously, it can't be easy playing and going from a middle infielder to first baseman, but you made the transition pretty seamlessly. Tell me what you think about that.
I don't know, man. Just got to try to push through it. It's nothing too serious, but obviously made it difficult to throw, but that happens. So, gave me something new to play, I guess.
All right, well, thanks, boys, and good luck with your season.
All right, thanks.
So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took a lot of not really organizing, but me stepping out of my comfort zone to do a video like this. So you know the deal with the football and the 2 videos. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to check out this video. God bless, and I'll see you later.